Okay, now we're going to need to add Cloudinary to our application. And I don't need to walk you through the whole adding the Cloudinary component. That is laid out in the text. Of course, we need the, um, the dependencies that we need to add. So let's go to our pom.xml file, and I'm going to copy and paste the dependencies. So we're going to copy this and I'll paste them. You have to make sure that you don't put your dependencies inside of another dependency. So basically find a closed dependency, find an open dependency, add an empty line in between them and paste in there. All right, so once that's done, you should be able to go to Maven, say reimport, wait for it to do its thing. Shouldn't take that long, especially if you've done it before. So I've added mine. Let's close all of these. So my Cloudinary config file should be recognized. I'm going to add this file to Git. All right. Now, I need a form. I need a form in order to... Now, I can put stuff in my data loader to take care of that. I can add the images in my data loader, but I need a form to really make sure the Cloudinary is working. And I need to know what my form is going to look like. So I need to go back to the designing board basically, and take a look at this is my program.html. I'm gonna copy all of this and say new HTML and go to program form. All right. So this is my program form, and when I go to my preview page, and I don't want program detail, I want the program for just the straight HTML. Right now it looks like this, so I need to cut out all of this part on the inside. So let me go back to WebStorm, and I don't want the footer. The footer is already collapsed. My page heading is collapsed. So it's this card columns thing right here. This is what I want to get rid of. Save, and I look back at my web page, refresh, and remember it said program form actually. So program form, all this is empty, great. Now, I need to figure out what pieces I want to add. And the pieces that I want to add are in my template. So let me go to my template folder. Japaro. No, I don't want the documentation. I want the template, horizontal. And do I want a form or a form wizard? Let's go with the basic input form. Open it with Chrome and let's see how it looks. Okay. So I could have a form where everything is inside the field, or I could have a form with labels. I think I want this kind of form right here. So let me go ahead and inspect this, and I'm going to highlight to get the part that I want. I want this right here. Copy element, and it needs to be inside of a row. Okay. Let me come back here. So inside of container fluid, if I have a div of class row, paste in what I just copied, save, then I'm going to take a look at my page again, refresh. Okay, here's my form. Now it's not wide enough and it's set over to the left, but I can fix that. So let us go back here, and the reason it's not wide enough, I think it's because of this MB4. Let's try setting it to MB8 instead. Refresh. Oh, that is not the reason why. Oh, Interesting. Okay. Oh, because it's set up as a card. Let's go take another look at our forms page. So, but I've had wider cards before. Let's go take a look at our other pages. So if I take a look at my program detail page, inside of program detail, I have a call mid 8, and inside of my call mid 8, I have a card. I have something that starts off like this. So let me copy that, go to my form, and then in my form, paste. So the row is duplicated. I need to get rid of that. And these two looked about the same. So let me get rid of that. So I need an additional close div to close the call mid 8 div. Let me indent this to make it clear what's going on. I don't look like I have any errors going down the side. And let's see what this looks like. Excellent. Okay. So what I did, I apparently something's going on with the Lava card custom control that changes the width, or maybe it's because this call mid 4 is the MB4 is what we had before, but the fact that it's inside of a call mid 8 seems to make it wider. And if I want it to be set off from the left, I'm going to need to add something there. So let me add div class equals call mid 2, and then on this side another call mid 2. Excellent. Okay, cool. So I have my form, and I'm going to need to edit it a little bit, but here we're just editing for content, really. So add a program, and I basically just need to know what my fields are. Name, description, image, and organization ID. Now, normally when we come to this form, we would have already be logged in as our organization, so we wouldn't need an organization ID. But just to make everything copacetic, I'm going to go ahead and add it anyway. So I need name, which is of type text. Name field. Name field. And here we're going to have description. Now, I don't know if they do something special with their text areas, but let's find out. Inspect. Label 4, it just looks like a regular text area, but we can go ahead and copy the element. Description field. Delete this input, paste in the one I copied. I got to make sure this name is the same. And let's actually expand it out to 5 rows. So name, description, what else? Name, description, image, and organization ID. Alright, so I need another field, at least right now. Org ID field. Number. enter org ID for a placeholder. Placeholder, enter name, program name, and then finally I need image. Alright, so we're going to take a look back and see if do we have a file selector example. Yes. So inspect, custom file, custom file, so copy this element, bring it down here. So div class equals form group, paste, label custom file. Alright, let's see how that looks. Come back here, refresh, description, in ord. Should have said org ID. It's minor, but it annoys me. Okay. And so this shouldn't say name, this should say org ID as the label. Refresh, name, description, organization, and then we would choose the file. Awesome. As soon as I click in the field, it automatically pops up. And I could select a small file, say open, and it doesn't really do anything. Alright, so I have the way that my form is going to look. Awesome. Now I'm going to switch back over to IntelliJ, and I've already got Cloudinary kind of configured in there, and so the only thing that's left is really to wire up a endpoint that's going to load the form and then one that's going to process the form. So let me create a new controller that I'm going to call the program controller. And in here, we're going to do the request mapping for add. It's a little trick here. Alright, so the way that this will work is these two request mappings will work together. And what will happen is this is the method that will run when someone goes to /program/add. And actually this needs to be a get mapping. Alright, so we're going to load model. So we have a way of passing our object to the form. And then we're going to add an attribute for the program, which is going to be new program. And we're going to return the add program form. All right. So we have this. Now what we're also going to need, if we have this, is we're also going to need a post mapping for the add form. Public string process form, process add form. At model attribute program comma at request param file multi part file Okay. If file is empty, which would be bad, return redirect colon slash program slash add. And at least that's how I think redirects work when we're using a two-part mapping. It might just go back to slash add. I don't know. We're going to find out together, I guess. And then we want to try to upload the file to Cloudinary. So we're going to map upload result equal to CloudC. Oh, I forgot to bring in Cloudinary. Cloudinary config. CloudC. All right, CloudC dot upload file dot get bytes. So we got to pass it the size of the file that we're uploading, which seems to suggest that Cloudinary might have a buffer overflow vulnerability. You know, we'll leave that for Una and Josiah to figure out. As map resource type, comma, auto, program dot set image upload result dot get URL dot to string, and then I need a repository AutoWired Okay, so if that works, then we're golden. Otherwise, we need to catch the error, and it should generally be a type of IO exception. I'm going to take the particulars of that error stored in the E variable, do a print stack trace of what's in the E variable, and still kick you back to the redirect. For the home page. Okay. And then the end of the routine, missing a return statement. Okay, so we're not yeah, sure. So this is what we want to happen if everything works. And then if it doesn't work, we want to try this again. So now every path has a return on it. The error has gone away. Awesome. Awesome. And now I need to build my form. So we're going to come down here to templates, and we said we would call it add program form. So in my templates, I'm going to get a new HTML file, add program form. And I'm just going to take this entire thing. Well, actually, I don't need the entire thing because part of this I've already replaced with partials. So let me grab my home page, select all of it, copy, come here, select all of it, paste, and then I just want to take out the content. So the page heading can stay. It's just this part that's card columns that I'm taking out. This might be a good time actually to, in fact, let's do it. I'm going to create a template so that I don't have to keep erasing this stuff over again. New content goes here. Anytime you find yourself doing something over and over again, you probably want to fix that, especially if you're lazy. All right, so save template. I'm going to create a new HTML file called starter template. So grab this, select all of it, copy, grab this, select all of it, paste. Now when I have new forms, I don't need to look around and try to figure out what's what. What did I do here that caused an error? Class or interface expected. All right, so that error is gone. I can now, was my starter template created? Yes, it is. All right, close that, and I can now put my new content here. And my new content is coming from what I did in HTML. So it's all inside this row class. I'm just going to copy that, go to my program, go here, paste it, and save. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to run my application and take a look at what happens when I go to the page, just to make sure that it works so far. Nothing is wired up yet. So all I'm going to do is test to see that the page loads properly. And if it does, then I can go about customizing my form to handle, and it does not. Error creating bean with name program controller, unsatisfied dependency expressed to field cloud-c, nested exception, error creating bean Cloudinary config. Oh, I didn't create my settings. So if you're going to create your Cloudinary config, then inside of your application.properties file, you need to have your settings, which is the values from inside of your version of Cloudinary. It'll look something like this, but you're going to fill in these values from your Cloudinary account. I'm going to take a quick break while I paste my stuff in here, and we'll start back after the break. Okay, I put my settings in and saved it. Let me try and run this application again. Assuming there's no other errors, there was nothing else that was wrong, it should now run. and it does. So let me pull up my page. Okay, localhost 8080. All right, so if I go to /program/add, excellent, it pulls up my form, boss. Okay, so given that we're good so far, the one thing that I'm missing is wiring up my form properly in order to handle not just Timeleaf stuff, but to handle the fact that we're dealing with Cloudinary. So let me go back to my forms, the add program form, and the form tag it gave me is like completely empty. All right, so form, we're gonna say our th action equals at curly bracket add curly bracket, and then my th object equals $ curly bracket program, and that should have been a $. That's what happens when you don't have your fingers on the home keys. And of course, my method is post. And finally, and this is the new part, the encoding type is multi-part form data. All right. Now, the difference, of course, is now I have to give my fields names. So this would be th field equals name. This would be th field equals, asterisk curly bracket description. So this should be asterisk curly bracket name. And this would be asterisk curly bracket org ID. Is that what it's called? Let's go to our program. Organization ID is what the name is called. Okay. Organization ID. Okay. And this is just called file. Okay. I think that is everything. All right, let's try it. Oh man, we're getting close. I was trying to bring this in at half an hour or less, and I'll try to bring all the rest of them that we do in at a half an hour or less. Okay, so we're going to reload the form, and our new program is called Micro Center. It's part of Organization 1, and the file that we're choosing is I don't remember what all these are. How big are they? So let's go with this web one. Open. Okay, I created a form without a submit button. That's an oversight. Let's take a look at what the submit buttons look like over here. Well, not here, here. Inspect, button primary. That's pretty much standard uh, Bootstrap, Twitter Bootstrap, but I didn't have one and I need one. So at the end of the form, paste. Instead of submit form, we'll call it add program. Save, stop and rerun. Do its thing. Get back here and run the application, refresh. All right, so my program name is Micro Center. My description is all of this trash. My organization is 1. I'm gonna choose my file. And this is 800 by 563. That'll work. So I have my file changed, add program. Okay, I didn't change this to use the images that are actually being stored. So let me go ahead and change that now. So I would need to go to my homepage.html and change what is inside my loop, and I think instead of source it would be then become th source, and the value would be $ curly bracket program.image. Okay, and if I'm going to do that, what I also need to do is I'm going to need to take my I'm going to need to take my data loader and actually add images in it instead of leaving the images blank. Alright, so let me find a quick image URL inside of there. So this one, that's too large, 900. 300 by 168, that's a good one. So I'm going to go here, grab this image, this URL, copy, and then I'm going to paste that. So when I add those two rows to those two items to programs, they're actually being loaded with images now, and we're actually going to display the real images. So let me restart. 3 minutes 30 seconds over. All right, we're racing the clock here. I could actually go through, I guess, and edit all the long pauses out, but that sounds like work. Any rate, so this is done. Let's go back here, hit refresh. Okay, now we have different images. Awesome. I don't have an add program button, but let me program add. So I come here, and it says call it Micro Center. Organization is 1. Let's choose my file, web. That's the one that's 800 by 500. Yeah. Hit open, add program. Yes. And that's how you add Thymeleaf to your application and add a template that will that fits the design to add that with it. Now that we've done this, we still need to get the detail page to show the actual detail of this program, and we'll do that in the next lesson.